Having you back on the CoinSurries channel is a pleasure. Select your opinion. XRP's consensus algorithm, known as the XRP ledger, significantly contributes to its speed and scalability compared to other blockchain networks. 1. Fast transaction confirmation. 2. Energy efficiency. 3. Low transaction costs. 4. Scalability. 5. Reliability. Please select your opinion in the community option. These predictions are based on the work of Sean McBride, who was the director of Ripple before. An XRP exchange-traded fund, ETF, around 2024 or 2025 is his primary target. Plus, he predicts that Ripple will launch outside of the US next year for its initial public offering, IPO. The following are my opinions on the two predictions. The order of finish is determined by who crosses the finish line first. There, demand is at its peak. But I think a lot of new products will come out once an altcoin ETF is fully functional, such packaged altcoin ETFs that let you invest in multiple cryptocurrencies in one. Furthermore, I think that is the ideal environment for XRP to flourish. First things first, there will be a standalone XRP ETF accessible in the future. When will this be finished? Nothing more. Taking a look at that should give you a good idea of how long the Ethereum ETF struggle will go on for. Does the SEC still have a tough fight ahead of them, or have they given up and issued tokens? Looking at BlackRock firing at it, would you? Maybe that shows where the SEC stands on this massive Ripple loss. This is something I don't know. We will see the introduction of an XRP ETF when the market conditions improve. It will happen. However, when exactly is anyone's guess. Is the US the only possible country for Ripples to go public? Their failure to accomplish that begs the question, why? Absolute nonsense. It was never their intention to. The reason they are stalling is unknown to us. And after all, isn't it just a game of chance? For instance, the scale of the US capital market would far outstrip their growing potential. If that is their decision, this is a perfect place for them to raise capital because they can list their shares on any public stock exchange. They intend to move its headquarters to the US at the appropriate moment. Their real dispute is about cryptocurrency in the United States, namely over the use of XRP for cryptocurrency transactions and associated things. It will be quite difficult to get their stock listed. They would have gone global during the last bull run if this hadn't happened domestically this time. Seems like all we have to do is wait for them to finish up their business before that big event. They plan to diversify their operations after that, such as their liquidity center, where they issue CBDC tokens representing assets. Their multi-brand on-demand liquidity payment solution, Ripple Pay, will undoubtedly continue to grow. Tether hasn't stated or confirmed what they'll do with USDT since we witnessed a Circle remove support for its stablecoin from Tron, but now that they've won a costly battle with the SEC, they can focus on cleaning up before their ultimate IPO. This IPO will come, and it will happen in the US. After a rival Circle decided to leave the Tron network because to security concerns, Tether has been silent on the matter of whether it plans to stop supporting the coin. The present political atmosphere is extremely taxing on Tron. In my view, the issue is less with security and more with the government's attempts to censor its own people. No one in Circle is interested in handling it. They're bringing the base to its knees. This is something that Tron is trying to implement on its platform. If successful, it would allow Tether to continue freezing transactions on any layer that it directly supports. In order to fulfill its obligations to comply. Regarding the XRP ledger's recently introduced clawback function, that is my stance. That seems to me to be an indication that the XRP ledger is prepared to generate stable currency. Tron has been a major player in the market, and people are adhering to stable currencies since they allow for fast and cheap transactions. Tron has grown substantially in this area. Regarding that use case in particular, XRP will be a far more competent and dependable cryptocurrency. A huge one-circle tether or both would work wonderfully. To make sure our community is secure, Tether monitors all the transaction levels it supports. Because Tron isn't my thing, it would be fantastic if they didn't. I apologize, but I have used up all of my Tron. But I do pray that individuals making good use of it are able to. Nevertheless, this is the usual outcome when dealing with steady coins. True, it's not decentralized, and they can halt assistance at any moment. Still another evidence that stable coins have their flaws. It will never replace the need for a fully functional cryptocurrency. As of Midas's reporting, the Stellar mainnet had uploaded its first smart contract. I had no idea what they were up to. I still find this to be a really awesome development, regardless of how the XRP Lightning Network differs from other networks. This is not a fork. Stellar has its own distinct look, but it's very similar to XSRP in how it handles payments. We can now see if the integration of smart contracts with that blockchain slows down or speeds up SLM. From my point of view, this further strengthens the evidence we already have in our pursuit of determining whether XRP will eventually support full-fledged EVM-type smart contracts or the hooks method. This matter is, in my opinion, far from settled. In my view, we should proceed cautiously with this. Got it. Whoever takes their time and does things properly will ultimately prevail, but in the meanwhile, it's okay to be cautious. According to David, the optimal strategy for creating an ecosystem of XRP blockchains while maintaining XRP's efficiency and low-cost nature is the sidechain approach, based on your first move. No AI-related cryptocurrency saw a surge in value once Nvidia hit a tipping point, despite global anxiety that video would lose out on Nvidia's earnings. It should come as no surprise that they dominated. How there was ever any room for debate about this is beyond me. It seems like the market was a little worried that Nvidia's stock would drop since the company's demand is outstripping its capacity to meet. We can't help but marvel how Nvidia managed to avoid satisfying our desires in this way. They had a strong quarter and exciting direction as well. The outcome was that Nvidia rose. Following that announcement, we have AI coins. Also, the artificial intelligence, AI, stock market segment is going to have a banner day tomorrow. I'm sure of it. As far as AI is concerned, I am completely in the dark. I own a small number of shares in that sector. If you're curious, I can provide you with more details. Live broadcasts are hosted by Nick Block every single day. If you're interested in keeping up with the most brilliant brains in the cryptocurrency sector, you should definitely check out his daily streams. He's an expert on blockchain and AI. Among the world's foremost thinkers, Deek Black will teach you all there is to know about artificial intelligence. Which cryptocurrency tokens are the most promising? The cryptocurrency super PAC has received a donation of nearly $5 million from the Winklevoss twins. Allow me to explain, I have never used that exchange, to put it gently, and the Winklevoss twins, for some reason, I just do not like them. Nevertheless, a significant portion of the cash will be redirected from Bitcoin to influence political outcomes. In my view, even with $5 million, it is insufficient. Their contributions ought to be substantially higher. The time has come to raise the bar. Considering that, it would be wise to include X in your follow-up. We are currently hoping for a significant increase to John Dean's Senate account. At last count, there were about 10,000 followers, which isn't quite enough. To show that he has backers, we need to rally as many people as possible behind him. He should be given a lot of thought. He has 300,000 followers on his personal account alone. The Senate account must be immediately defunded. Get the word out that this is no small foe. Contributions are also appreciated, provided that you possess the requisite means. Important beyond measure, he plans to wage a significant campaign here to show that he is serious. I also think the rich will take him seriously and put a lot of money into this if he manages to do that and gain support from a global grassroots movement. We intend to unite behind him often and at the beginning. In support of John's case with Bill the attorney, please say the following: John Dean has about 318,000 followers. Elizabeth Warren's initial post had 5.1 million followers, but his reply received only half as many likes. This is a great deal. Everyone thinks she's been around for a very long time. As expected, this indicates that he has X followers when he in fact has none. That growth and progress, nevertheless, is what you seek. Having 5.8 million followers is unnecessary because John already has enough supporters. We are striving for a daily increase in the number of followers with that account. I think that will frighten anti-crypto politicians like Elizabeth Warren because it will prove that we are not calling for anarchy if they reject reason and sensible solutions. Laws, especially good laws, are our goal. Someone will step in and take your place if you keep acting foolish. A small amount will demonstrate to this establishment that we are serious about doing business with them. Get behind John and get the word out to as many people as you can. The bomb needs to go off now. The article you asked for is here. As of this writing, 74% of Cardano's cryptocurrency tokens are supposedly in circulation. Even if it is accurate, I highly doubt it. However, when we investigate liquidity, we discover that 65% of the 24,000 coins on the list have been deemed dead or failed. A cryptocurrency token's lack of activity in the market is no indication that it does not exist. Since their release in 2020 and 2021 during the bull run, at least half of the cryptos have passed away. Half of Jack's cryptocurrency riches were lost in the terrible market meltdown that happened at the end of 2022. The list of those responsible for the destruction is exponentially longer when we include Sam Beekman, Fried Do Kwon, and the clowns associated with Three Arrows, Capital, and Masuski. Not only are investors at risk, but so are everybody else with a vested interest in their projects or platforms. Additionally, a few of the projects were top-notch. This ludicrous bear market was partially created by their naivete, as many promising ventures failed due to unfavorable market conditions. Also, such bankruptcy procedures don't even begin to cover the full scope of their devastation. On top of that, it's very unfortunate. Do most of these coins reside on the Cardinals network? It is, without a doubt, the most ridiculous thing I have ever witnessed. Immediately, I can inform you, nearly all Ethereum cryptocurrency tokens are now useless, and out of all the currencies created by Ethereum, 74% are not on Cardano. Who can forget those ERCs? They pioneered it. They were just ICOs, or initial coin offerings, which aimed to raise money. Part of it is trying to figure out what we're supposed to do in this new tech world. A portion of it is obviously false. But are there any coins that Cardano isn't holding? The answer is yes, because this is cutting-edge technology that is just now starting to pay off. A lot of people do a lot of experimenting. Even though it's bound to collapse, I think the Cardano ecosystem will do quite well in the next bull run. In addition, I think some great building that has already been started will start to come to fruition during the next bull run. Cardano is going to be a very popular blockchain in no time. Furthermore, it is absurd that the platform lists 74% of Bitcoin coins that have gone bankrupt. Attempting it is an utter impossibility. Lastly, this page addresses many cases that are still pending in court. Everyone is holding their breath for the ruling to be dismissed in SEC v. Coinbase. Legal professionals have concluded that Coinbase has the upper hand since they put out a more compelling case. In my opinion, the court's decision to dismiss the case in its entirety is difficult to understand. However, there are a lot of knowledgeable people who think it's not totally impossible. If it happened, things would have gotten very out of hand very quickly. This will make the ETF issuance look like a non-event. I find it hard to believe. However, if this is the case, Gary Gensler has made a terrible error of judgment once again. We need clear rules and processes, and if Coinbase were to defeat SEC, it would open the door for Loomis and Gillibrandt's Responsible Finance Act to pass, or at least impose crypto legislation. That is now missing. And it's terrible that a court would have to step in and have the SEC explain it to these idiots. We require clear legislation rather than the SEC winging it. The SEC will still lose severely, it will just take more time, regardless of whether this legal action is merely a dismissal. The process of empowerment supervision has begun. Regarding the Ripple case and the power oversight reports, William Hinman, who was formerly the director of the SEC, has conflicts of interest. Everything is well known because Thatcher was returned to Simpson Thatcher after leaving the SEC. Power oversight also revealed that Hinman earned millions of dollars from Thatcher's former company. How does he feel about the ongoing inquiry? Can you tell me what has to be investigated? Throughout time, it was clear that that speech was completely ridiculous. It was so that he could be compensated for giving that speech. Having them step in here would be fantastic. I have no faith in the SEC to oversee itself, but perhaps they will surprise us here. The future holds no certainty. Leave a comment telling me what you think. As always, we ask that you subscribe and like. Arriving soon, goodbye, update.